Hey son, can you remind me your name? I have too much clients, I forgot. Anyways, what? You were naked in public? Oh no, the Primogems guy, right? What is that? Huh? You stole how many? 100,000? Oh my god. Okay, look, relax. I know what to do. I know a guy who knows a guy and I have a stash somewhere, so we'll deal with this, okay? You just relax. Velvet Gear. Genshin Impact, possibly the most expensive game, followed by Cyberbug 2077, created by Hojubers, versus Better Call Saul, the prequel to the hit TV and award-winning show Breaking Bad. Let's see what each media has to offer. Disclaimer: minor spoilers for Genshin Impact, Better Call Saul, and Breaking Bad. I will be mostly focusing on key moments, characters, and memes for both. Background: Better Call Saul, as I just mentioned, follows the events from Breaking Bad as a pre-sequel, meaning it mostly focuses on events before White and Jesse became cooks, as well as some events following the story's ending. And although this helps tie in the past of some characters, this story is about Jimmy McGill and Mike Ehrmantraut, and while there are other characters involved, they are the ones with the most screen time. It was created and directed by Vince Gilligan along his co-writer Peter Gould, starring Bob Odenkirk as Jimmy McGill. Genshin Impact is an open-world RPG with gacha mechanics, inspired by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's the fifth game by the Chinese game developer Hojubers, originally known as MiHoYo, which in Spanish sounds like my hole. And just like Breath of the Wild, it focuses on survival, world exploration, and puzzle solving. Its story takes place in Teviat, and it follows the Traveler, one of two twins who fall on this unknown world on a mission to find each sibling, depending on who you choose to play as. Its gacha mechanics focuses on wishing for characters and weapons with different stats and abilities. While the game developer team is really big, I doubt there's one specific director. However, we can say that it's produced by Hugh Tsai, and its music is created mostly by Yu Pen Sheng. Side note, as I was making this video, I thought maybe if Saul Goodman was a playable character from Genshin, he would probably have an electro-vision, as proven by this clip.
I'm like a god in human clothing! Lightning bolts shoot from my fingertips!
Another side note, while Nacho Varga seems to be another protagonist, if you will, adding him too heavily into the video would be too much, so I'll cover him lightly. Story. Genshin Impact's story begins with Lumine and Aether fighting the Unknown God, a woman which entraps one of the siblings, sending the other one into Teviat. The traveler awakes in an unknown shore, where they, while fishing, meet an emergency foot, also known as Paimon. Both go further into the world in their quest to find the other sibling. As of the making of this video, the places that have been visited by the traveler in order are Mondstadt, Liyue, Inazuma, and Sumeru. Each has its own set of troubles that relate to their own internal issues. The Abyss Order and the Sarista from the land called Snezhnaya. Probably. Fun fact, each nation is based on a real one. Mondstadt is Germany, Liyue is China, Inazuma is Japan, Sumeru represents Saudi Arabia, India, and Egypt, Fontaine represents France, Natlan Mexico and possibly some other Latin countries, and Snezhnaya, Russia. Better Call Saul follows Jimmy McGill, also known as Saul Goodman, and formerly known as Slipping Jimmy, an underdog lawyer who is looking to get better opportunities in the world of law. His desire for success is a rocky one, since most of his endeavors land him dealing with the drug cartels in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He also has a brother called Chuck McGill, who allegedly suffers from electromagnetic hypersensitivity. He takes care of him, and it's the only blood relative he has alive. He's also accompanied by Kim Wexler, a lawyer who he maintains a relatively open and friendly romantic relationship. This story also relates to Mike Ehrmantraut, a former cop who had some corrupt dealings in his past. He lost his son, who was also a cop, and now will do anything and everything to keep his daughter-in-law and grandkids safe, as well as to keep their economic situation in order. This of course leads him to take some bad jobs that eventually land him near the Salamanca family and Gustavo Fring. Characters: Jimmy McGill, a former criminal saved by his own brother from prison, who became a lawyer in secret by taking an online course in the University of Samoa. Mike Ehrmantraut, a former cop and Vietnam veteran. Known in general as the parking lot worker, he is behind the scenes a hitman, private investigator, and other bad jobs. Chuck McGill, a lawyer who will no matter what do the right thing. He's one of the founders of JMM, a law firm which he created alongside Howard Hamlin and Howard's father. Howard Hamlin, one of the founders of JMM and the current director of it. His selfishness has drove him to make Jimmy's and Kim's life difficult. Nacho Vargo, a member of the Salamanca cartel who is deeply troubled by his life choices, making him take action which puts his life in danger in more than one occasion. Kim Wexler, a lawyer who desires to go up in JMM by her own merit. While she is in a relationship with Jimmy, most of her activities are done independently. Genshin. There are many characters, so I'll just cover the most relevant ones as well as groups who share the same goal. Travelers. Lumine and Naeder. They do not have a vision, however, they are capable of harnessing the power of all vision regardless. They have a mission to find each sibling as well as to help each nation with their own troubles. Emergency food. Paimon is known as what is called deuteragonist, who accompanies the traveler in their own adventure, helping out in whichever way she can. Not much is known about her, aside from her tasty flavor. The Archons, gods who once were all-powerful and fought in the Archon War 2000 years ago. They each represent an elemental vision. The Anemo Archon is Venti, the Geo Archon is Zhongli, the Electro Archon is Raiden A, and lastly but not the last one is Nahida as the Dendro Archon. In the future more Archons will be presented since there are in total 7. Dainsleif, a mysterious man whose story relates to Kanarain, a land that fell 500 years ago, and the Abyss Order. He helps the traveler find their sibling who seems to be connected with the Abyss Order as well. Gameplay! Genshin has 2 gameplay tangents. One is world exploration and the other one is combat. The combat is based around each character's element, and each have a reaction when mixed, like freezing, melting, or electrocharge. This is called elemental reactions. Buttons work differently for each platform. For PS4 and PS5, press circle to do a normal attack. Hold it for a charged attack at the cost of stamina, and a plunge attack if you are mid-air. R2 activates your elemental skill, which is an attack that uses the character's element. It can vary but usually works this way. And then the elemental burst, which is the strongest attack activated by using triangle, and the way it works is similar to the elemental skill, but it usually deals more damage or increases the stat. There are many other intricacies to its gameplay, like healing and stat increasing, but that's the gist of it. Now another element important to its gameplay is exploration. From the moment you start the game, you'll learn some traversal ability, from dashing, climbing, and eventually gliding. This allows you to move freely and smoothly around the world, horizontally and vertically. The world is filled with many features to uncover, from items that will help you upgrade characters, chests with artifacts, Mora, Brainwalker, as well as other items in general. There are a ton more features like cooking, the abyss, Animal Crossing, and a trading card game. But for now, that's more than enough. Of course, Better Call Saul doesn't have gameplay. It's a TV show, but we can talk about why it's entertaining. I think it's fair to say that lawyers in media are way more cooler than in real life. The other example of an interesting lawyer is Phoenix Wright. I've played the games and it definitely feels really cool when you have a cool comeback. In Better Call Saul, we see that a couple of times. One of them that still is one of the best courtroom moments is when he's cross-examining a plaintiff who is very sure that the man in front of him is the guy he's suing. But in reality, it's just some random guy from another place, while the real one is in the back of the courtroom. Another one is from the episode Chicanery. I won't spoil it, but this is a great display of how smart and resourceful Jimmy can be, which in turn is what makes most of this show so interesting. Music! Let's listen to it. Should you play it / watch it? Genshin Impact and Better Call Saul. What do they have in common? A soul. Genshin, while you could argue that takes a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, it has made changes big enough to be its own thing. Not only that, but its ever-expanding world, story, and character roster, through constant updates and free-to-play nature, makes for an incredibly great package that I think everyone should give a chance. Mainly because it's free. Better Call Saul, on the other hand, gives us a very relatable and human story. Yes, it might be about corrupt lawyers, cold assassins, drug makers, drug dealers, and so on. And while not all of us aspire to be that, at least we can understand why these people take the path that they have taken. In Jimmy's case, it was because almost everyone in his path never trusted him, but in the end, he was his own worst enemy. Why? Well, go watch it if you want to find out. And that's it for this video. I'm not sponsored by either Hojoverse or AMC, but I am sponsored by the fun that it brings me to make these videos. So if you will leave a like and subscribe, well, I'll just keep having more fun. Adios!